Boy, did it go down on CNN this morning. I'm talking about a head-to-head match in the aftermath of the guilty verdict handed down to none other than the newly convicted felon, Donald Trump. CNN's Kasie Hunt navigated a heated debate discussing the guilty verdict, and it didn't take long before the political arena was set on fire by a clash that's got Republicans scrambling. Enter George Conway, who brought the heat like never before, calling out the GOP for some serious truths. This wasn't just another routine heated political argument. This was a moment that demanded our undivided attention. We'll take a look at that moment in just a second, because first we have to unpack the bombshell itself. Trump being found guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records. As the dust settles, one thing is abundantly clear. You have to know that Trump, Republicans, and his supporters are gearing up for battle, and it's going to be one heck of a show. We're talking about pulling out all the stops to spin this guilty ruling into a comeback story. Through rallies, tweets, and speeches, it's all going to be aimed at shaping the narrative in Trump's favor. In fact, we'll see one of those attempts in the video. Trumpers are about to make a political circus out of his conviction, no doubt. But thankfully, we have people who we have to shout out, like George Conway, who are speaking out against all this craziness. You're about to see it all over his face, how blown away he was when CNN allowed one of its contributors to make false claims and run wild with it.
You're probably going to see this backfire politically on the Democrats, and they're going to regret it.
I mean, George, I will say, I have heard from some people who really don't want to see Trump get elected in the Republican Party, who are concerned that this particular case is just going to drive additional enthusiasm for the former president. I'm interested in you respond to that, and you got your face in your hands. What do you got to say to Scott?
I have to say, look, Scott's lying, and that's the problem with the Republican Party. It is continually addicted to lies.
Wait a minute. What am I lying
You're
about?
lying. You're lying, Scott. You're lying about the law. You're lying about what the jury was charged to find. They don't have to find an underlying crime. They had to find the intent to cover up an underlying crime. And the underlying crime was pretty obvious.
What was the crime?
You ran for public office, Scott. You ran for public office, Scott. You know you can't take money from somebody and reimburse them if it's a campaign expense.
I've never run for
damn
public
well.
office.
And okay, fine. Well, you're close enough. You're involved in politics to know that. Okay, so that's the problem with the Republican Party, is that they are suffused with lies. I don't know why this network is paying Scott to say those lies.
Whoa, okay. Let's not go there, George, please. Please, let's not go there.
No,
okay.
we should go there.
Scott is our colleague, and we're going to treat him respectfully as such. Continue.
Well, he shouldn't lie.
Here's my question: If it is an obvious crime, why did the Department of Justice and the Federal Election Commission take a pass on it?
Well, the federal
they should have
Commission,
prosecuted. It should have been prosecuted on January 21, 2021.
Let's let David jump in.
This is the thing about Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been let off. He should have been indicted for it. And the fact of the matter is, Donald Trump isn't being treated specially.
George and Scott, hold on, please. David, jump in.
Conway really brought the fire, calling out CNN for giving airtime to Jennings, who is spewing Trump defense with blatant lies. I think he effectively got the message across to the Republican Party that we are fed up with how they circle around the truth, and that they need to kick the bad lying habit to the curb. And let's talk about how Jennings tried to deflect, talking about how this could come back to bite the Democrats. That sneaky move was an attempt to shift the focus to the Democrats and what might happen to them. The real question is, what is going to happen to Donald Trump during his sentencing on July 11th, just days before Republicans are set to pick the convicted felon as the 2024 nominee? That's what they should be worried about. But I mean, when in doubt, try to change the subject, I guess. Conway's push for honesty and Jennings' diversion tactics just highlight the messy world of politics we're living in. But Conway cut right through the thick smoke, proving that he wasn't having any of it. He slammed the GOP for its addiction to falsehoods, sticking to his guns about calling out the lies. And when Conway called out CNN for letting guests like Jennings run wild with misinformation, it was a major mic drop moment, a breath of fresh air. As a guest, it wasn't his responsibility to do that, but Kasie Hunt failed him. leaving him no choice, and he was quick to do what had to be done. This kind of courage and unapologetic commitment to honesty is what our society needs more of, especially in an era where misinformation can spread like wildfire. It's not just about pointing out falsehoods. It's about standing up for what is true and just, even when it may be uncomfortable or means standing up against someone you once trusted. Conway's boldness in demanding truth and accountability in politics and the media is a lesson for all of us. We got to face those lies head on and make sure the truth leads the way in our discussions and decision making. This showdown was a much needed reality check, hopefully paving the way for more honest and open conversations in the future. George Conway, we all thank you.